Remember the days when gaming wasn't just a pastime, but a revolution? At the forefront of that revolution was Halo, but before Halo 3 there was a custom game that defined a generation, united clans and created legends. This is the era of Halo Custom Edition. Back in the early 2000s, back when LAN parties were still a thing, online gaming had really started to take off, and amidst this newfound chaos, something was brewing. Halo Combat Evolved had been released to critical acclaim on Xbox and PC, and with it, sometime later, emerged Halo Custom Edition, a modded version of Halo Combat Evolved with custom content and maps, a game that would become a phenomenon in its own right. Back in those days, along with early Steam, there was also Xfire, a gaming client with a friends list and various other features like an in-game overlay and clans. I was part of a clan called TGE, which I'm pretty sure meant the gaming elite. Kinda cringe, but that's typically how it was back in the day. And Halo Custom Edition was at the height of its legendary status. Enter GameSpy. Some of you may be too young to remember GameSpy, but it was basically a master server that so many of our favourite old school games used for their multiplayer architecture, for their dedicated servers, something also used by Halo CE and Custom Edition. Clans faced off, battling for high stakes supremacy. It was epic and incredible. Halo Custom Edition was kind of like the Wild West. This was a day way before the modern anti-cheats, a time where you could flick open cheat engine or a trainer and just super jump or aimbot online. But of course it wasn't as common as you'd expect, because back then there was kind of still a sense of honour. But beyond the servers and these tools, Halo Custom Edition was about creativity at its heart. The best custom maps on this game were not just levels, but art in themselves. Some of the coolest maps which I remember on this game were Cold Snap, Extinction and Yo-Yo-Rast Island. Cold Snap was a large icy plateau which had mountains at its three edges, with a large crevasse splitting down its centre. This map had a bunch of warthogs with long swords and jets to fly across the map, with raised platforms and teleporters. Extinction was a desert hot zone with an enormous UNSC space cruiser hovering above it. It's a map that reminded me a lot of the Halo 3 campaign map Savo Highway. There was a whole bunch of vehicles like Scorpion tanks, missile jets, scarabs, pelicans and Gorse warthogs. Then there was Yo-Yo-Rast Island, perhaps my favourite of the maps, due in fact to how weird and wonderful its shape was. This island was less of a war map and more of some kind of sci-fi space track or theme park island, with large spirally ramps warping around it, with tunnels and caves engraved in the rock. Huge Ass was a very large level on a flat grass type set of terrain, with two different hangar bases for the two teams situated in the mountains, each of which that were filled with classic Halo vehicles, particularly some of the ones that were cut from the game, mostly flyable ones like the Stealth Bomber, aka the Longsword. They even ported H3 Foundry, which was a map based on Halo 3's Foundry map, the abandoned Traxxas warehouse complex in the third game, where much of the best Bungie.net maps were made on. When Halo Custom Edition first hit the scene, it was like a playground, no, a canvas, just waiting to be painted on. But let's take a moment to appreciate how far we've come since those early days. The community has been the backbone of this evolving masterpiece, relentlessly pushing updates to fine-tune gameplay mechanics, patch bugs and improve the overall experience. Did you ever wish you could go beyond the campaign missions? Dream no more. Custom missions have arrived and they're as diverse as the community creating them. There's Firefight mode, which emulates the Halo 3 ODST firefight, and it takes you out on a completely different journey. It strangely feels like ODST, but with just a little bit more dated graphics, but it still plays really well. At the heart of the modding community though is the Halo editing kit, which is more commonly known as HEK. Think of it as the ultimate toolkit for any aspiring game designer or modder. With HEK, you go from a player to a creator, designing your own maps, creating custom game modes, and even tinkering with AI behavior or vehicle and weapon properties. It's like the developers handed you architectural plans and said, go wild. There were some crazy mods made back in the day with HEK, and I even tinkered with it a lot as a kid to make things like flying ghosts or snipers that fired rockets on Blood Gulch. But what if you wanted to go beyond just creating maps? Enter developer mode. This is not for the faint-hearted. It's like peeking behind the curtain of a magic show and getting your hands on the magician's secrets. Developer mode allowed you to manipulate the game's code in a sense, giving you the power to alter game mechanics by entering in commands, commonly used to test user-created maps or gain special powers. This could be achieved with certain utility tools that toggled it on or off, or just by creating a shortcut to the game with custom launch parameters. Open Source, which is a mod for CE, is an extension that enhances the game's capabilities, allowing for more advanced modifications through scripting, new rendering techniques, and entirely new game mechanics, with community creators' stunning visual overhauls, intricately detailed custom maps, and fresh gameplay experiences. SPV3, aka Single Player Version 3, is perhaps the most adventurous of mods for Custom Edition, and it was absolutely revolutionary when it released. I'd go as far to say that it's less of a mod and more of just an entire transformation of the entire game itself. The mod is a masterpiece full of new weapons, redesigned enemies, and even entirely new levels. Gone are the days of the limited arsenal of the standard assault rifle, the Magnum, plasma pistol, and a few of the other weapons. In SPV3 you have an expanded loadout which brings weapons from all of the other Halo titles, and some from the lore and some made by the mod developers. And the enemies, they're smarter, tougher, and they come with new variations that will challenge even the most experienced veterans. From improved AI behaviour to revamped level design, every aspect of Combat Evolved's original campaign has been revisited and fine-tuned to create a gaming experience that's both nostalgic and fresh. Halo was always more fun when you had a friend to play with. Co-op Evolved takes the cooperative experience to a whole new level, with seamless multiplayer integration, preventing laggy connections and sync issues, and allowing for multiplayer campaign play. The mod offers all new challenges which are designed specifically for cooperative environments. Imagine taking on hordes of Covenant with specialised player roles for each of your squad, or solving puzzles that require true teamwork. Co-op Evolved takes the essence of Halo multiplayer and then infuses it with a more competitive spirit that's revolutionary. You can choose to stick to the main campaign or just venture off into custom community design missions. It's really your choice, and the mod's easy to use interface means playing with friends is super simple. On one corner we have Halo Custom Edition, a community-driven legend. In the other, the Halo Master Chief Collection, a more polished, official compilation of Halo titles for the PC, including Combat Evolved in remastered form, lovingly maintained by 343 Industries. But how do they stack up against each other? Firstly, I'd say they're two different animals and probably shouldn't be compared. One reason is that one is a community passion project, which doesn't have thousands of dollars of funding that a Microsoft-backed AAA game studio has, and also because they have completely different missions and objectives to each other. But it's interesting because both have a good level of modability. Halo Custom Edition has so many great mods, from graphic overhauls to content and campaign-based mods. It's incredible what's available from the many years of its user-generated content. On the other hand, we have Halo MCC, which on its PC version has been constantly maintained and patched and updated, and in the recent months, with the release of the MCC modding tools, now has a thriving Steam workshop chock full of amazing mods. From Cursed Halo to Halo 3 Combat Evolved, or even Halo Craft, aka Halo Minecraft. It's come a long way ever since model swaps and other capabilities were made possible, but it shouldn't have to be a choice. Both have their own unique strengths and selling points, and since Halo Custom Edition is completely free, it's also a nice alternative to those that own the original disc and want to have some fun on a budget. Did you ever play Halo Custom Edition? Do you have any great memories on the game? Share your stories or thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because if we get 50 likes, I'll drop the next video and you don't want to miss this one.